Welcome to today's episode of Family Circle on ABS Television, Oka. My name is Favor Madiebo, and with me here today to talk about this topic is Dr. Ebele Deborah Oba. She's a lecturer at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Also here with me is Mr. Afam Ezako, also a lecturer from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
The topic for today is communication as a means of family bonding. Ebele, what is family?
Family, in my own point of view, is the group of one or more parents with their children living as a unit. That is, whereby you may have the father, the mother, and the children. That is a kind of nuclear family. And we can also have extended family, where the grandfather, the grandmother, the uncles, and the aunts are involved. Outside that, we can also refer to family too as maybe a group of persons with common interest. Maybe in the working place, they can also be referred to as family.
Afam, can you contribute to that? What she just said?
Yes, my own contribution is in such a way that we have to also recognize that family can come in a way of having one person who is a single mother, having her own children and living with them, and then it can come by the way of blood, where you have brothers and sisters, and then you have fathers and mothers. They're also part of the family, and also by adoption. So when we look at it, family is where one or two persons are living together with that mutual understanding that they have common interest. That's the basic thing there, of common interest. And then, like I say, marriage, blood, adoption.
Okay. By adoption, when you just mentioned something that has to do with adoption. Adoption, does it have to do with in the sense like going to orphanage or going to, I don't know, maybe your relations to...
Yeah. When you talk of adoption, I think the first sense of it is when you intentionally go on to adopt someone from an orphanage, or what we call children's home these days. And then you can also adopt by not going there to maybe a children's home to get a child, but you can adopt someone around and say that this person is now part of the family. Yes, for some reasons, sometimes you have some apprentices that when they finish their job and their organ, we say, no, I'm not allowing you to go, you're too good, can you stay with my family? It's an adoption. The person becomes
part of the family.
Yes,
okay.
Family member.
All right. I want to ask you, Afam, what is communication in a family?
Okay, when we look at the family, like we have said, you have more than one person. It means that first of all, communication is a two-way thing. That you have to, one person must speak and another person must listen, or one person must be interacting with the other person. So in a family, for you to have communication means that there are instances of that relationship. And I will also say that communication is everything. So if it's everything, that means when the two or more persons are together, like the Bible says that, the Bible says something about when two or three are gathered. That sense of gathering in mutuality means communication. That's the first thing. But if you bring it down to the general understanding, communication means this person is talking, and my wife is talking and I talk. But I think it's beyond that. If we go on, we may find out what it may entail being beyond that.
Can we get your contribution on that?
Yeah, family communication can also take place through phone calls, telephone calls. whereby maybe member of the family leaves the home, something like the husband leaves the home, and at times the wife would like to let me know how you are, how you're faring. That is also a means of communication and is very important. But some people during courtship and they were like, hey, honey, where are you in the morning, in the afternoon, every time, 2 minutes. But you find out that when they eventually get into marriage, the wife might leave in the morning without the husband knowing the well-being of the wife till they come back. So communication in the family, it goes beyond when we see and talk. It mustn't be like that all the time. And it can also take place as a kind of sign. And there's something, maybe you have a visitor in the house and you have important things to discuss and you find your child sitting in the same place with you and the visitor. You can just give the child a sign. It's a part of communication in the family. And giving the child that kind of sign, the child eventually understands that, man, I need to leave this place for mom and the person that visited. So I think it's part of family communication.
So do you think there's something like, one bothering the spouse with communication, maybe by making too much calls, calling the person, trying to check up on the person? Do you think it can go overboard, the call with calls?
One thing I have to tell you, especially in Nigerian setting, is that it doesn't even come like that. It's not more of a boring. People don't. The person will tell you, I am too occupied to call you, and even the person receiving the call will be like, I beg, let me rest. So it doesn't even come in the place of as frequently as where it will get somebody bored. So it doesn't come that way. So,
Afam, what role? You're a father. If I may ask, what role can you play as a father to, help communication or to increase communication in a family?
That's a serious question. I think there are many roles. It depends on the environment one sees in himself, and it depends on the kind of job the person does. First of all, in this present age, where we know that we have mobile gadgets, you are not in the house. The first sense of communication, you're not in the house for a while, and you have left a little phone in the house for the children. So once you put a call to them, how are you doing? There is this excitement when daddy is on the call. Daddy, I'm fine. They will tell you a lot of things happening in the house if they are taught still little. They will tell you, Daddy, do you know this person did this? Daddy, do you know this person did this? And with that, you actually know what is happening in the house. That is first sense of communication. Then when you now look at the second side of it, you are back to the house. How do you relate with them? There's something I always believe in. Don't just come in and you see the children, hi, how are you? There should be some cuddling. Personally, what I do is when I come in, they hug me and I touch their head. And when I touch their head, I say prayer. Thank you, God, for today, for these children. And they don't know. But I found out that these days, they will now always want daddy to touch them. It's a way of communicating. You're a good dad to them. Another one is asking the questions. How was school today? What happened to school? They will tell you, do you know this person did this? You say, which one did you do? Say, Daddy, I didn't do anything. Okay, did the teacher flog you today? No. You're communicating. Then what you are trying to do is to give them that space to relate with you. And you find out that as they grow up, toddlers, teenagers, they're still relating with you in that way. So as a father, the basic thing is to recognize that they are there. And then you communicate, not always talking. I would believe, not always talking, but also listen.
Okay. We'll go for a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue.
It helps a lot, depending the understanding of the people that is communicating. I believe that communication is supposed to start from the father. From the wife being the mother of the child. And again, the communication has to do with understanding. When you guys doesn't have understanding of the family, there's forgiving spirit when somebody offends each other.
That communication, there's no way a husband and a wife can relate to each other they have to sit down and discuss what will help their family, what will help their children, how to build their family for their family to move on. That's what communication do. That communication, one can be going astray, the one can be going astray because there's much to discuss. And when the wife don't have a listening ear and husband don't have a listening ear, the family will be in chaos. The communication helps in the sense that to help the husband know the wife better, and the wife know their whereabouts and what they're up to. Yes, because it's not good when maybe the husband wants to do something and you're keeping it to yourself. It might send a wrong interpretation to the wife or the husband. So it's better they communicate. Communication helps to clear the mind. Let me just put it like that. Communication is also good with the children because when you're communicating with your kids in the family, yes, it makes them open up to you. And as the parents of the house, too, open up to them. They know your mind and you know their mind and what they are going through too, as children too.
I had a chat with Doris Ofoli. Doris, do you think communication helps children to bond better with their parents?
Yes, communication helps children to bond more better with their parents because communication within the family is extremely important because it enables members to communicate with their kids, that is, to express their needs, wants, and concerns for each other. In most families, parents don't communicate with their children, resulting in frustration and heartbreak. Imagine a situation whereby both parents are bankers. There's a 50% chance that those parents don't communicate with their children, possibly leaving them in the hands of their nanny or house help, and those children can be influenced negatively by their peers in school.
You know, some mothers, they find it difficult to relate with their children, especially their girl child, concerning their sexuality because of the way they hold onto it as if it's something that is sacred, and by so doing, the child will be led astray. What advice can you give to a girl child, especially on this?
Yeah, the advice I will give to a girl child is that let the girl child try to create a bond between her and the mother. Even if your mother doesn't have that time, make her to have that time. Tell her this is
How does she do that? How can she create that bond?
the way she can create that bond. Even if the mother doesn't have time, whenever she comes back, move close to her, interact with her. Mommy, how was your day? No matter how late she comes, and she might be tired, but when she sees you coming closer, trying to relate, I don't think no mother will like leave me all the time. Even if you try, and she will like, I don't have time, I'm so tired. Do it most often. By the time you know it, the mother will develop a kind of interest.
Okay. Doris, as a child, what do you think about the axiom that says, spare the rod and spoil the child?
First of all, as we all know, an axiom is a rule or principle that most people believe to be true. Well, my view on the axiom, spare the rod and spoil the child, is that parents must guide their children on what is wrong and what is right. It is not a crime to cane a child, rather it is one of the corrective measures in training a child. When a child is caned constantly, he or she will start feeling like, I am often caned constantly, so he or she will not have remorseful action about what he or she did. They will just be feeling like, after all, I'll just be caned, without feeling any atom of remorseful about what he or she just did.
Ebele, what do you think as well from what she just said now?
Yeah, flogging a child is not a bad idea. After all, the Bible says that foolishness abounds in the heart of the child, and it is only by flogging that you remove it from the child's heart. So it is a good idea to flog, but when you are flogging, do it with love. You know, some parents, they flog each time they are angry. Each time they are very annoyed, they will use that annoyance to flog the child, even go to the extent of warning the child.
Yes,
so when
true.
we want to flog, let us know that we want to correct this child.
Yes, that
We
of
will not
correction.
do it all that much, with every strength,
Yeah.
with every power. Let me kill her. She doesn't need to live. No, we should flog with love. And also let the child know the reason you flogged her. So that if you explain it very well, you find out that the child, anything that will make you to flog him or her, he will just go away from it.
Now, I also think, talking to a child is not every time you cane a child, yes. At times when he or she does wrong, you call him or her and then talk to her or him that, look at what you did is not, explain so that she will reason,
Yeah,
understand why she shouldn't do that anymore.
exactly.
I think that is how we should teach our children. Okay, Doris, how has communication helped you to bond with your parents?
Communication helps me to bond with my parents because we have that mutual understanding between ourselves. When the parents comes back, he or she will just be like, "How was school today?" Then they'll ask you some questions concerning your school and how was your day. Then there is that mutual understanding between your parents and the child, which may make the child to be close to the parents, especially the mothers, because they feel like the father is always nagging them. They're afraid of the father more than the mother, and which can lead to lack of trust for both parties, that is the father and the child. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that children can earn their parents' trust maybe by having that mutual understanding and close relationship for the two parties.
Okay, that's good. Welcome back to today's episode of Family Circle. Our topic for today is communication as a means of family bonding. I will ask Ebele, as a mother that she is, in what way can you contribute as a mother in communication in a family?
Yeah, just like she said, as a mother, I'm a mother of 5 children. Some are in the universities and some are still in secondary school. So I think I am in a better position to say the roles that mothers do play in communication in family. In our family, there is a way our children see our husbands or their father. They see their fathers as maybe an authoritarian, very strict, so harsh, so wicked, he doesn't care. So as a mother, to enhance better communication, I should be the one to tell the children, it is not like that. I will be standing as a mediator between my husband and the children to enhance proper communication. Because if certain things are not explained to these children, they will think that, mommy is Mother Christmas, why our father is so wicked. So I stand the chance to explain to the children that daddy is a very nice man. If they complain of maybe too much distance, and I will tell them, no, it's not all that, because daddy is the one that goes out mostly to cater for the family. So you don't expect him to have all that time for you. And that is why I am here as a mother to help out. Okay? Then, in that mediator role, I don't have to channel the children's interest towards me alone. For instance, if I go to the market and buy wares for the children, I expect the children will like, hey, mommy, thank you. I will at the same time tell them, see, if daddy comes back, you thank him too. He is part of this. I didn't do it alone. So when you explain this to the children, they will understand that daddy is also involved. So, because if you don't let it be, that is why when the children, when they grow up, they will like, my dad is so wicked. It was my mom that did this. It was my mom that did that. So I stand as a mediator to balance things in the family. So, and also what do I call it? Tranquilizer. When they think that nobody cares, that daddy doesn't care, I will balance it. I will balance the situation in the family and make sure that daddy understands the needs of the children, and I also explain the daddy's role to the children. And I will also say to the fact that daddy is always there for them, in as much as he doesn't have the kind of time I have. So I will also encourage daddy to communicate well. One thing about daddies is that when in trying to communicate, when these children, when they start growing, maybe into adolescent age, you find out that daddy will now be so strict, he will no more have their time. By the time you know it, maybe the daddy is trying to protect the authoritative part of himself and secure himself respect. I will be the one to tell daddy, no, these children, they need you when they are small. Are you getting me? Maybe as toddlers, you cuddle them, you play with them, you leave them up. That same attention is also needed when they are growing up. As adolescents, you don't need to be far from them in order to secure your respect. See, I'm the boss, So all these things are the things that I would make sure that they are balanced to ensure proper communication in the family.
Afam,
Yeah.
I noticed what I just said to her now. Some mothers like getting the children to themselves,
Yes.
and then they would like to make the father an outcast and stuff like that. What do you think? How do men see this, or how do they feel?
Actually, it's a general thing that a woman should have that, attitude of taking the children to her side. It's not something that is made of her just because she became a mother, or maybe I don't know how to put it, but as a father, I don't think it's of the best interest, because in fact that's where the bonding issue comes in. If it is a one-way traffic, a one-way thing, only the mother, the bonding is not there. It's not. There may be bonding between the mother and the children, but if there is no bonding amongst them, now the father, the mother, and the children, it becomes a problem. Because what it means is that as they grow up, she said it, they will have this notion about their father, and basically the father will also notice that, and it will now translate to maybe a kind of cold war between the father and the mother, and it will now mean that the communication gap will be created. So, but if there is this attitude, like she said, daddy is doing this, that I found out there are some mothers that will never tell the children daddy is the one bringing the school fees, daddy is the one bringing money for the market, because daddy will not go to the market. But if the mother have given maybe have that notion that we need to go along together, she will definitely tell, daddy bought this for you, daddy did this. Even sometimes daddy may not do it, and you say daddy did it, so that though it may be lying, but to make the children to have this understanding, daddy is also there, so that when they get to a stage, they won't be like, mommy is the one that took care of us. And what it means in the society, present society, she said something about the father being feared and all that. If it is not, the family will not be. In fact, I found out that the fear of fathers have made some that could have been wayward to respect themselves. Because I know mother will not beat, but some mothers will beat. Because I know when growing up, my mother handled me the way I never expected. The brooms, the sticks, and all that. She is one of the persons that believe in spare the rod, spoil the child. And my father will not beat. My father will only talk to you. But when he starts his own, you will run to the mother. The mother will still be the one. Same person that will beat will still say, so it's a case of there should be that mutual understanding.
But sorry, in some cases, fathers are really very strict, and these tend to breach communication between them and their children. It's not necessarily the mother that causes it.
Yes. Now, fathers are strict most times, but being strict does not mean that you do not know the tenets or the rules of being strict. That when you beat a child with one hand, you use the other hand and bring the child closer to you. And surely, if you are not strict, my son, I think if there's anything about me, he has this thing that he will flog. But he knows that daddy will still go out and buy ice cream. When I flog today, maybe the next day I buy ice cream. The next day, now we talk. The next day I'll buy something else. You must be strict. If you're not strict, I think the problem we have with single motherhood sometimes is the man not being there to talk. Because the woman, there's a stage she get to, she will start having feelings, emotional feelings. But the man may have it and keep it aside. Do what he wants to do. Go into his room, close the door, and feel like, why did I do this? then he needed to do it. If not, the children will go into the woods.
So, Afam, how does polygamy affect communication in a family?
Divided attention is what you get in polygamy. And if you have divided attention, surely it will affect communication. That communication channel will be affected because you are divided in what you transmit to the other person. It takes only a strong man to understand how to communicate to two different women or three. So it surely will affect. And then you have some that will be favorite, and it affects. The other one will now be seen. Even when the other woman will want to talk, she will be like, because you are the favorite. So it will affect. The derogatory terms may be used in relating, and that's a problem.
Ebele, what can a parent do to earn a child's trust?
Yes, for you to earn a child trust, you have to give the child time, because everything that we have been talking about communication, the core aspect of communication is the time, giving time to the children. So if you are the type that has time to interact with your children from the onset, when they go out and come in, how did it go? How was your day? You make yourself friendly, so that when you make yourself friendly with them, you find out that they will confide in you. And when they confide in you, they will tell you everything about themselves. And by telling you so, you will be able to correct the wrong views they got from their parents.
Yes.
So by so relating, I think you can gain their trust.
Yeah. That's good.
If I had to bring it, simply don't overlabor them with talks. See them in their own age. Don't sermonize. It gives them a lot. And don't walk to them with attitude and mood. It's wrong. If you have the wrong attitude, keep it. Don't talk to them.
Okay. Well, this topic is a long one. If you continue, we will not be able to finish it today. So we've come to the end of today's episode of Family Circle. I'm thanking you, my viewer, for being a part of this program. And thanks, my guests, for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Join us again next time for another episode of Family Circle. Goodbye and God bless.